everyone, and happy Monday. Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday for this week. Today, I want to talk to you about creating events in Facebook. And there's a couple of reasons why you want to create a native event in Facebook if you have something coming up, rather than just putting up a post with a link to register for your event. So when things are done natively on Facebook, that means that Facebook hosts your video, that the event is on Facebook, whatever it happens to be. As long as it's on Facebook, Facebook gives a little bit of preference to that in the algorithm. Always remember, Facebook's customers are not you guys as businesses. They're you guys as consumers. So Facebook's goal is to keep people on Facebook as long as humanly possible. And anytime anything takes them off of Facebook for any length of time, then it becomes a concern to Facebook. So if you do an event on Facebook, Facebook makes that kind of a seamless sort of experience for the user. And even though they still have to go somewhere else to maybe get their registration, it's connected in a way that gets preferences in Facebook's world. Whether, and this works too, whether it's a video or an event, any of those things, if you can kind of create it within Facebook's own native world, then you get a little bit of preference, you get some better looking graphic things that go on, and it's easier for people to interact with. So there's some reasons why we would want to do this in Facebook. Now, the example that I'm going to give today is a free webinar that I've got coming up later in the month, and I'm just going to show you how to create the event and then how to invite people to that event off of your friends list. And this is a question, oddly enough, I get asked a lot by my customers when I create an event from them. How do I invite people? Now, you can't invite people that necessarily like your page. Facebook does sort of keep that private. However, if those people are friends, then you can invite them. So what we're going to do is we are going to post a event for like I said, a free webinar that I've got coming up called How Healthy is Your Email Marketing List? And I have some artwork and everything ready for that, and I'll talk to you about that as we get through the event. So to start out, we're just going to click on Create an Event. And by the way, I navigated to my page in Facebook and started that event from my business page. I didn't start at my regular account. Now, this may look a little different. There's this gray bar up here across the top, and that's because this page happens to be in the Business Manager. Everything that I'm going to do is exactly the same if you don't have your pages in the Business Manager or Facebook's Ad Manager, because I manage a lot of people's Facebook pages. I keep them in the Business Manager, and that way I can have multiple pixels and multiple ad accounts, and then I'm not responsible for paying someone else's ad bill. So that's the reason why I use the Business Manager. If you're just a single business, or even if you have maybe 2 or 3 pages, it's usually not a big deal to just go ahead and use Facebook the way it is. I'll quit that segue, and somewhere down the road, I'll talk about the Business Manager. All right, so some basic information that we need to do. We need to fill out the event name. So how healthy is your email marketing list? The location is going to be a webinar, so we're just going to use webinar. And the frequency is occurs once, and this is going to be on, see, I've already forgotten the date, 26th. So September the 26th, and we want to include 11:32, and it's going to conclude at 12:30, and the Central Daylight Time would be correct. So we're going to pick a category. So this would be education of some kind. I think there's something for a class. Maybe. There's not always the most perfect picture for a perfect option. Sometimes is not always available for you. Facebook only puts out a certain number of these options, so it's hard sometimes to fit what you're wanting to do into it. So there's really nothing in here that fits So I'm just going to leave it as a none. So now we have a description. I'm going to go back and pull my description right off of my registration page because we've spent our times writing that. And then here I'm going to put in small business marketing, email marketing. Let's see, entrepreneur. I always have trouble spelling that word. And just marketing in general. And again, free admission. Yep. Here is my ticket URL. So in this area, I want to put the URL for this registration page. So if you have a registration page, whether it be through GoToWebinar, whether it be through Eventbrite, wherever it happened to be, you can go ahead and put that in here. And then that way people know to go to that place to register. If you happen to have co-hosts, so that's somebody hosting the event with you and you want them to have access to all of the registration stuff, then you can put them into the co-host area. So you could add a page or a friend or something like that. And then this check mark does display the guest list. So if you've actually checked an event on checked into an event or said you would go to an event on Facebook, you can see sometimes it displays who is coming to that event. This is dependent upon what type of an event you're having. If it's something where social proof is going to help, then I would by all means display that. If you don't necessarily want, like in this case, it's a webinar, it's pretty anonymous. I'm actually going to uncheck that. But if it's a live event, everybody's going to see each other at the live event anyway. And sometimes, just sometimes, you will get more people by having that guest list displayed. And sometimes it maybe not work so much in your favor. You have to sort of temper that according to how your particular event is going to work. Then there's also this option for posting. So basically what you're doing is you're creating a temporary Facebook page for your event. And you can say that other people can post as long as the posts are approved. Anyone can post, all posts must be approved, and then only hosts can post. And I'm going to just say anyone can post, all posts must be approved. That way I don't have somebody coming by and spamming my event registration page, which can happen. Doesn't happen a lot, but it's something I don't want to have to subject the people that are on my page to do. So it depends on who you're advertising to. If like I said, this goes out to a lot of business people, I'm actually going to run a boost on it. So people I don't know may be seeing this, and I don't want them to put something on the page that would cause a problem. I want to be able to look at it and say, hey, that's okay. All right, so we have that part done. Our last little piece into creating this event is to change this cover up here. So the event cover, of course, is not going to be quite the same size as the timeline cover for your business page. Now, you could leave it, and that's what the default is that comes in. I, however, am going to change it. Now, I don't need to put a lot of type or a lot of things on this particular image because the image is always going to be wrapped with the information about my event. So you don't need to put necessarily the event time or location or even the title of the event, because that's going to be contained within the event post itself. So this literally can just be artwork. And as Facebook is so nicely pointing out to me this morning, you can use a video here as well. I'm going to close that and click on change photo. Now this is 795 pixels wide by 295 pixels tall. That's the size of the image that is contained within that area. So I'm going to grab the little image that I made this morning for this particular event, and I can drag it here to reposition. So I'm going to drag it so my little heart shows up. Well, it's not quite right. And this is this is aggravating. I made that exactly the size that Facebook asked me to, and now it's not quite right. It enlarged it a little bit. It's okay. It works for me for this morning, so we're all good. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Publish. And we can click on Preview Draft. So let's do that first. Probably before I boost the post, I'm going to go back in and fix up my artwork just a little bit. So here's what the event is going to look like, and it is just a draft. Now at this point, I could go ahead and save the draft, and if I wanted to work on the if I wanted to work on my artwork, or if I wanted to do something different, or if I was collaborating with another person, I could save the draft. We could look at it together, see that everything is going to be okay, and then publish it when we're ready. I'm really ready to publish it. Everything is great. Let's go ahead and add a location here. I don't know if it'll let me do an online. So we're just going to use online. We're not going to pick anything else, just use online. There we go. All right, perfect. So it just says online. That way it makes more sense to people be able to know that there's no physical location for this particular event. And I might even make that just a little bit clearer by saying webinar up here in the title. So let's go ahead and save that. Oh, wait a minute. We can't use excessive capitalization. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead. My keywords have disappeared. So to see if we can get keywords back in here. Apparently those are not things that make Facebook really happy. Let's go ahead and leave that at that. They change things so much. I love Facebook, but they do change things a lot. All right, my event is now ready. We've got our location put together, so let's go ahead and click on Publish. All right, once the event is published, if I pop back over to my Facebook page, I can see what that is going to look like. So let's go back to the page. Go back here, and we're going to go to, what a sad looking baby this morning. Let's go ahead and go to the Be More Business page. And I'm not in the page manager, I'm a regular Facebook. So here is my event. And it's all set up, it's ready to go, it's ready for me to start inviting people. So now I'm going to go ahead and click over here on my events, and that's going to take me to this event. This is only page admins who have the role of advertiser can create ads. We're fine. So if I go to the business manager, it would let me create an ad. So let's go ahead and click on share event. And we can share this on my timeline. So that's a good way to get started. Hey, all my small business friends, join me for a webinar on email marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on post. That puts it on my timeline. Now let's go ahead and invite some friends. Let's go ahead and click here. Under these three dots right here, I'm going to click and I'm going to choose Get More Responses. Oh, that's ads. Hold on. They moved it. Oh, share. Here we are. Or the three dots. Share. There we are. Invite friends. Sorry. It was here at one point in time. Well, I guess it's here now. Share, invite friends. And then I can invite anyone on my list that I want to invite. So if I wanted to invite Andrea here, I just click. I can select whomever I want to invite off of my friends list. Many of us have already created a network of business connections that are connected to us personally on Facebook. And this lets you really take advantage of that. and being able to communicate with somebody at a more personal level. Now, with that said, I am not in any way advocating that you mix your personal profile with your professional connections. If you choose to do that, please know that you have to change the way that you live on Facebook. No more political posts, no more religious posts, no more posts unless your business is part of that and you're okay with it. Understand that once you start mingling business and personal on Facebook, it all becomes business. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and send this invite to Andrea. And when she gets it, then she will be invited. And it's really subtle. It just says Kimberly Beer invited you to her event, to Be More Businesses event. It'll say Kimberly Beer, so me personally, invited you to Be More Businesses event, because it's not technically my event. It's done through the business. All right, if you want to promote this, then you're going to click on the three dots. That's going to take you to the ads manager, and you can boost this event. You can run ads around this event. There's all kinds of things that you can do around the event. And when the event shows up in the, keep clicking on the wrong thing today. Well, there it is, and on my Facebook page. But this is what the post looks like. So you can see what your artwork looks like. It's all put together. If somebody wants to say that they're interested, they can click on interested. If they want to choose that to going, they can click on going. And there you go. So it's pretty simple. And then if they want to register, then it has the ticketing information into the event. So you can click on find tickets. And in this case, it's going to take you right back to the webinar page. So I'm sorry this was a little bit long, but I wanted to walk you through all of the steps that it took to set up an event on Facebook. I encourage you that when you have events in the future that you want to market through Facebook, that you consider using this way of setting up the event, in addition to, maybe not in addition to, instead of just putting up a post. Make sure that it's going to work for you. Give it a try. It does let you do a few more things. I personally prefer this for free events for sure. And then paid events, it sometimes gets you a little bit deeper exposure. We've been trying it on webinars and live events both, and have been seeing some success that's a little bit better by utilizing Facebook's event offering versus just posting directly as a post without going through Facebook's event program. All right, have a great week, and I'll be seeing you down the road. Thanks.